GS1 Package Measurement Rules. How to measure a product the right way. The Global Data Synchronization Network is a global network for sharing product information using GS1 standards, including product measurements. It is used by organizations across multiple sectors such as food and drug, do-it-yourself, and healthcare. Unfortunately, many mistakes are made when determining the right way to measure products. This leads to discrepancies between values entered into the network and the actual measurements of a product. The GS1 package measurement rules have been developed so that product measurements are determined and interpreted the same way all over the world. The way a product is measured is not determined by its position on the shelf or its use in promotion material, since not every retailer places their products in the same way. In this video, we explain how to measure a product in accordance with the international rules. Step 1. Determining the default front. In order to determine the default front of a product, first look at whether promotional markings are visible on the product, since the default front is always used by the manufacturer to sell the product to the customer. If more than one side has the same promotional markings, surface area is the decisive factor. The side with the largest surface area is always the default front. If multiple sides have the same surface area, the highest side is considered to be the default front. Step 2. The right orientation for measuring the product. Once the default front has been determined, it must be decided how the product is to be measured. This orientation, whether standing or laying down, is always determined by the text elements on the default front. When the text elements are placed horizontally, this is the right orientation to start measuring. If both horizontal and vertical text elements are found on the default front, measure the product in a standing position. Only when all text elements on the default front can be read vertically, the product should be laid down on its side for measurement. When text elements on the default front have a diagonal, i.e. not vertical or horizontal orientation, use the other text elements that can be read horizontally or vertically to determine the right position. In the absence of vertical or horizontal text, the product is measured in a standing position. Step 3. Measuring the product. When both the front and the orientation of the product have been determined, the actual measuring can begin. Measure height, width, and depth of the product, including caps, lids, and other protruding elements. Apart from consumer products, there are also trade units or non-consumer trade items. A trade unit can be a box or pallet used for ordering or delivering more products at once. A trade unit is measured in the following way. Start by determining the natural base. This is often indicated by words or arrows. With the natural base below, you can now start measuring height, width, and depth. Only when the natural base cannot be readily identified, depth is always the longest dimension, the height the shortest of the remaining two. When measuring trade units, always make sure they are undamaged and not stacked. To find out more about the correct implementation of the measuring rules, consult the manual on the GS1 website.